Hello there. Welcome to the next painting. I'm not sure where I'm going. I have a color. I have a spatula. I'm ready to go. I've been writing lately about something I'm exploring about myself. In my book, Perpetual Conflict, I called my process, which is a really messed up way of dealing with things. And so I'm looking at that, and the core theme of that is punishment. And so when I think about punishment, I think about black and blue. That's what comes up. So I have Payne's gray here, which is blue, but kind of black. And then if you water it down, it's a little more blue. It's one of my favorite colors. I'm going to start with that and see where I go. The goal here is to, kind of explore this idea of the punishment that I put myself through. And then once I write about it afterward, then I'll make sense of the whole thing. But right now, I just want to get those emotions out onto the canvas and see where I go. So come on, we're going to have a wild and exciting ride. So here we go. I'm putting the Payne's gray down. That's my first layer. I've got lots of water because I really want to spread it out. I want to get my drips and everything. And, this is my favorite layer. This and maybe the first 2 or 3 layers, because then I get all the emotion out. And this is a very, I'm thinking in my head about this essay that I already started writing about pain and punishment. And it's real deep. And so there's a lot of emotion, and I love putting it out on the canvas like that. It really helps me to work it out. And I work really fast, so you're going to see a lot of blow dryer in here because I do like some wet action, but most of the time I like it to be a little bit dry. So I want to get some solid layers that are not blending in with the layers that are already on there. So a little bit of blending's okay, but not too much. So now, I dried it a little bit. I'm adding a little bit of white to kind of open it up some. It was looking pretty dark. And I don't know how many layers I put down, quite a few. And each one just kind of builds on the one underneath it, and they all play together. I kind of have this macro view of my paintings rather than a micro view. I don't look at little sections or little parts of the painting that I absolutely love. It's a whole for me. And so, sometimes maybe I do, cover up some things that might be really cool, but most of the time I won't say I cover up a lot. And so here's the blue in the black and blue theme. I knew I wanted to start with that because that's what I think of when I think of punishment, black and blue. And if you read my essay, you'll understand why. And this blue is really, really bright, which makes sense. You're thinking, this is supposed to be painful. This is supposed to be emotional. Why do we have this bright blue? It's because I don't want to sit in that for too long. It's like it's there. I acknowledge it. I experience it. I express those emotions, but there's always hope. Tomorrow's another day. And so this bright blue is a really good contrast to the deep, dark Payne's gray. And now, because I'm always trying to worry about my values, I'm adding some lighter blue. At this stage, as I look at it, as I'm doing it, it's like, okay, well, I don't have a lot of value contrast right now, but I know as we get further into the painting, I'm going to change that. But I like the little bit of light blue mixing with the dark blue, and then, of course, you see the Payne's gray coming through, and making lots of drippies here. I love my drippies, and I always want them to be multiple colors. Now, what did I look at the camera for? I have no idea what I was doing. And aside, while I'm using the blow dryer here, I hate this label that's showing. Oh, it's driving me crazy. And that strap, oh my God. Oh, and this is something I've never done before. I've got the blow dryer, I'm blowing things, and then I've got a palette knife. It's a texture palette knife, and I'm making textures on there. It's like, okay, that was a completely new move, which I probably will do again. And now I'm using the water bottle and the blow dryer. I've never done that before either. So this painting's bringing out some new stuff in me, which is super cool. Okay, so now I'm back with the Payne's gray because I feel like I got rid of too much of my value contrast, and so I need to add in some more dark here. And I'm kind of liking where this is going as I'm looking at it. And as I look at it now after I've done it, it's like, okay, yeah, I like where this is going. And obviously I'm covering up some of my texture and covering up some of my blue. But I'm going to put some more texture back in there. That's kind of the nature of abstract painting, is you put down layers, you cover them up, you find new stuff when you add another layer to it. And I really do love that. So I keep going with the Payne's gray. Where do I want to put it? I'm putting it throughout. And I'm really, really thinking at this point, is this coming together? And, there's this moment at the beginning of a painting where I'm like I won't say terrified, but I'm like, okay, is this going to turn out? Am I going to get lost? Am I going to stab my canvas? Because, I've done that before. And throughout the painting, I'm always asking myself, what direction am I going in? But at the same time, it's like this balance, this dance. It's like, I want to be as organic and I just want the emotion to come out of me. But at the same time, you've got to have some thought here. There's composition, there's value, all those things are running through your head. And so when I was painting that section there before this beautiful bright pink came down, and when you read the essay, you'll get this as well, is I was thinking of the person who influenced this whole process that I have that I'm going to write about. And she loved red roses. And so I had to get her in here. I didn't want to get her in here because I was honoring her. I needed to get it in here because she needed to be in the middle of the black and blue. And like I said, with the essay, when you read it, you're going to understand that. Now, when I put this pink down, I was slightly terrified that, it was just going to be too much. But I approached my paintings very boldly. I've got, look at that. I got bubble wrap. It's like, where did that come from? See, when you're painting, something just happens in your brain and you're like, hey, grab the bubble wrap. And I did. And this moment right here is what took this painting in the direction that it ended up. I love the bubble wrap because I love texture and I love using different things from, spatulas to bubble wrap to, hey, that was interesting. I'm going to leave that in because that was interesting. You got a close up of me. I don't know what I was doing there. Okay, so now I'm back with the Payne's gray, adding a little bit more darkness. I really do like the pink in the bubble wrap, blending things a little bit more. This is still very rough. Now, part of me looks at it and goes, that's still pretty cool because it is so raw. But the other part of me that can't leave tension on the canvas is going to keep going, obviously. It's like, this is almost like a therapy session for me. That's what painting is. It's like I throw out all my emotions. I talk about them, which I'm really not talking. I'm talking to you now. I paint about them. I go through them. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not in this heightened state of anger or sadness or whatever main emotion I'm working with. Now I want to come out of it. And so it's, in therapy, you talk, the therapist tells you something, and as you get closer to the end of your therapy session, the goal is to have some sort of resolution so that you leave the therapy session, not completely distraught, that you've found some nugget that you can, take with you and go home and have a better day with. And here I'm mixing something. No, okay. I left that in. It's all good. You guys can watch that. That's fine. Oh, mixing a lighter blue because I need a little bit more value contrast here. Now, I think I used spatulas or palette knives throughout this entire piece. Not a single brush was used. I'm not a big fan of brushes. And I think I might be mouthing the words to a song or dancing. Okay, here comes the bubble wrap again. What am I going to do? Oh, yeah, I'm going to use the blue. And I think at this point I had decided there's going to be bubble wrap of every color I have in this painting. I'm going to use the bubble wrap because I'm absolutely loving what it does to the painting. I love the bright points of blue here and pink there and white there. And speaking of white, here I am. I'm adding in some more white to lighten it even more. All about value. You want to have lots of values in your painting so they don't fall flat. God, I'm really loving this. Now I'm looking at it from this, not from the what I'm going to put on the canvas next perspective, but I am watching this go down and this is pretty cool. I like this. I'm going to do this all the time. And so, yeah, I'm just, sporadically adding the white where I think that I need a little more color. And here we go with the bubble wrap again, which I think I've probably said 17 times. I love this bubble wrap, but I can't say it enough. I love the effect that it makes. And this is, I think, a medium. You can get bubble wrap in all different sizes. This, I would say, is a medium-sized bubble wrap. I've got some really small, and I've got these huge ones, which I haven't used those much. I don't think those would work as well. And what's interesting is I see this dark spot up in the middle top. There we go. I just put the blue on. I'm like, that spot needs something. So I'm glad that I did that. So in my head right now, I'm thinking what my next step is. And I did the bubble wrap. I know that I need to get some circles in here somewhere because almost every painting I have has circles. So I am drying it because I want a fairly dry canvas, not completely dry, but fairly dry to go with the next step. So I am digging into my tool chest of materials, and I got my little PVC. It's like a pool needle, but I got it at Lowe's, and it's used in construction for something. And I absolutely love it, and it makes perfectly beautiful circles. And so I've got one color on one side and one on the other. And I know as I start, every color I'm using, again, is going to be added using the circles. So this is looking really wonderful. It's getting close to being done with all these circles. I think this process here is one of my favorites, and I think I'm actually dancing to the music a little here. I love putting on these marks because that's at the end of the painting. That's when the resolution is coming. It's like I can't leave it unresolved. I can't leave the tension. I've got to bring in the happy or the I'm okay, and that's what the marks are for me. So it is a full arc from this is horrifying, this is sad, I need to talk about this, or I need to paint about this. It's like, like I said, therapy, till I come out of it. It's like, you know what? I'm in an okay place. And then now, the last thing I decided was, okay, I need a contrast. So I got the silver paint out, and I've got this pastry thingy. God, I can't think of the name what it is. It's for mixing butter with flour for making pie. And it's like scratches. And it's me scratching my way back from this terrible rabbit hole of emotion that I was in when this painting started. And so I'm in a good place now. I'm in a happy place. I will say that using the blow dryer to dry these kind of screwed up a couple of them, but, happy where it ended up.
Enjoy that? Was that fun? There's a lot of movement in there.
Okay, I think we're done. Did you enjoy that? Was that fun? There's a lot of movement in there. I really actually had fun. It's a very, very heavy topic. I processed some stuff. As you can see, there might have been a few moments where I looked a little angry when I was putting paint down on the canvas, but it felt really, really good. There's meaning in everything I've put on here, and when I write my essay, I'll expand on that more. But from the colors to the marks that I added, they're reminiscent of this whole topic that I'm running through my head, that I'm painting about, that I soon will be writing about. Thanks so much for joining me, and I look forward to the next painting.